If I walked up to a complete stranger right now, outside a coffee shop, on a subway platform, anywhere, and I asked them, hey, can you lend this person $10,000? Would they do it? Of course not. They don't know you. They've never met you. They have no reason to trust you with their money. But here's the weird thing. If a bank lends you $10,000, it's not because they know you either. They've never met you. They don't know if you're kind, if you're smart, if you work hard. They trust something else. They trust a number about you. A number that follows you quietly through your entire adult life. A number that decides whether you get approved for that apartment, what interest rate you'll pay on your car, if you can get a credit card, sometimes even what jobs you can qualify for. And here's the crazy part. Most people spend years, sometimes decades, trying to raise their credit score without really understanding what it actually is. So today, I'm breaking it down. No jargon, no confusion, just clarity. Because a credit score is really just this, a trust report card. And once you understand how it works, you stop being confused by it. You stop being controlled by it. You start using the system like a calm, informed tool. Welcome to Centsive, where money finally makes sense. The myth versus the reality. So let's start by clearing up what a credit score is not. Because most people think it means, am I a good person? Am I rich? Do I have a lot of money in my account? Am I responsible with my life? No. A credit score is not a moral judgment. It's not a personality test. It's not a measure of how smart you are, how hard you work, or how much money you currently have sitting in your bank account. You could be the most generous, hardworking, intelligent person on the planet and still have a terrible credit score. You could also be someone who barely graduated high school, makes average money, but has an excellent credit score. Because here's what a credit score actually is. A prediction. It's a mathematical prediction of how likely you are to pay back borrowed money on time. That's it. Think of it like a weather forecast. The forecast doesn't tell you if you're a good person or if you deserve sunshine. It just predicts, based on patterns, here's what we think will happen. A credit score is the same thing. It's a trust meter. It says, based on your past behavior with money, here's how much we trust you to pay us back. And to understand why this system even exists, we need to zoom way out. Because credit scores aren't some new invention. They're just the modern version of something humans have always done. When people don't know you personally, they need a system to decide whether to trust you. The story, the village trust system. Picture a small village, maybe 200 years ago. Everyone knows everyone. If you borrow a bag of flour from the baker on Monday and promise to pay him back Friday, the baker remembers. If you actually pay him back Friday, great, he'll lend to you again. If you disappear and never pay, the whole village finds out. Because everyone talks. Your cousin knows, your neighbor knows, the guy who sells vegetables knows. Your credit score in that world is basically your reputation. And reputation is stored in people's memories. It's social, it's personal, it's human. But now, the village becomes a city. Hundreds of thousands of people, then millions. Strangers everywhere. You walk into a bank to get a loan. The banker doesn't know you. You try to rent an apartment. The landlord has never met you. You apply for a credit card. The company is in another state. So here's the problem. Trust can't live inside people's heads anymore. There's just too many people. So trust has to become something else. First, it becomes paperwork. Lenders start keeping written records. Did this person pay us back? Yes or no? Then paperwork becomes databases. Computers now store millions of records about millions of people. Then databases becomes a number. One single number that summarizes everything. And that number is your credit score. It's the city's version of reputation. It's your financial trust history translated into math. And here's the first big truth you need to understand. Your credit score is your financial reputation written in a language that strangers can read. That's all it is. Not magic, not mystery, just reputation scaled. The mechanism. What the score is actually measuring. So what exactly is this number measuring? It's measuring one simple thing. how you handle borrowed money and bills over time. Not just one day, not just one good month, over time. And that's why it feels so slow to build, because trust, real trust, is always slow to build and fast to break. Think about it in real life. If your friend borrows your car and brings it back late one time, you might forgive them. Okay, traffic was bad, no big deal. But if they're late every single time, eventually you stop lending them your car because the pattern broke your trust. Credit scoring works the exact same way. It's looking at patterns in your behavior. And here's what the system pays the most attention to. Payment history, 35% of your score. This is the biggest deal. Do you pay your bills on time? Every time? Because if you don't, lenders lose trust immediately. Even one missed payment can drop your score by 50 to 100 points. It's like showing up late to a job interview. You might still be qualified, but you've already damaged trust. Credit utilization, 30% of your score. This is how much of your available credit you're actually using. Let's say you have a credit card with $1,000 limit. If you're using $950 of that, the system sees that as risk, even if you pay it off every month, because you're living right at the edge. It's like breathing with your nose pinched shut. Technically, you're getting air, but barely. The system wants to see you using less than 30% of your limit, ideally less than 10%. Length of credit history, 15% of your score. How long have you been using credit? If you've had a credit card for 10 years and paid on time consistently, that builds serious trust. If you just got your first card 6 months ago, the system says, "We don't know you yet, not enough data." Time is a trust multiplier. New credit inquiries, 10% of your score. Every time you apply for new credit, it creates a hard inquiry on your report. 1 or 2, not a big deal. But if you're applying for 5 credit cards, 2 loans, and a car lease all in the same month, the system sees that as desperation, and desperation looks like risk. It's like someone asking to borrow money from 10 different people in 1 week. Even if they have good intentions, it raises red flags. Credit mix, 10% of your score. This is the smallest factor, but it still matters. It's asking, can you handle different types of credit responsibly? A credit card is different from a car loan, which is different from a mortgage. If you can juggle multiple types and still pay on time, the system sees that as financial maturity. Now, let me make all of this even simpler. Simple analogy, the trust backpack. Imagine you're carrying a backpack, and that backpack is called trust. Every time you pay a bill on time, you add a brick to the backpack. Trust brick. Every time you keep your credit card balance low, another brick. Every time you avoid applying for too much credit at once, another brick. Over months and years, your backpack gets heavy with trust. And when lenders look at you, they see that heavy backpack and think, okay, this person is safe. They've proven it over time. But every time you miss a payment, you drop bricks, sometimes a lot of them. And if your backpack gets too light or completely empty, lenders see that and think, too risky. We can't trust this person with our money. A credit score is basically the bank looking at your backpack without ever talking to you, without knowing your story, without knowing if you're a good person or if you've just had bad luck. Is it unfair sometimes? Yes. But is it simple to understand? Also yes. It's not about feelings. It's not about intentions. It's about patterns. And patterns are what the system can measure. The interest rate trap, the expensive penalty. Now, here's where this gets serious. Because the credit score doesn't just decide yes or no. It doesn't just say you can have a loan or you can't. It decides how expensive your life becomes. Let me give you a real example. 2 people walk into a car dealership. Same day, same car, same $25,000 price tag. Both put down $5,000, both finance $20,000. Person A has a credit score of 750. Strong, consistent, trustworthy. Person B has a credit score of 580. Shaky, Some missed payments, higher risk. Person A gets approved at a 4% interest rate. Person B gets approved at a 12% interest rate. Over 5 years, Person A pays about $22,300 total. Person B pays about $26,700 total. Same car, same down payment, but Person B paid $4,400 more just because their trust number was lower. That's not a small difference. That's rent for 2 months. That's a vacation. That's an emergency fund. So the credit score system does something incredibly powerful. It rewards stability, and it punishes chaos. And here's why people feel stuck. If you're already struggling financially, the system makes things cost more. You pay higher interest. You get worse terms. You spend more money just to access the same things. And when things cost more, struggling becomes more struggling. That's the trap. It's not that the system is designed to hurt you. It's that the system is designed to protect lenders. And sometimes that protection comes at your expense. The real lesson: credit score versus wealth. Now let's separate two things that people constantly confuse. Credit score is not wealth. Credit score is not income. You can have a credit score of 800 and have $300 in your bank account. You could also be a millionaire and have a credit score of 550. Because the score doesn't measure how much you have, it measures how you behave with credit. Think of it this way. Having money is strength. Having a good credit score is reputation. Strength and reputation are not the same thing. A bodybuilder is strong, but if they have a reputation for being unreliable, people still won't trust them with responsibilities. The same applies here. You could have money but still have a reputation for not paying your bills on time. Or you could have very little money but have a reputation for always paying your bills, even if it's just the minimum. That's why some wealthy people still get denied for loans, and why some people making $40,000 a year get approved instantly. The system is measuring behavior, not status. And that's actually important to remember, because it means you don't need to be rich to build a good credit score. You just need to be consistent. How to use this system calmly. So what do you actually do with all this information? Here are the Centsive rules for using credit calmly. Rule 1. Pay on time like it's oxygen. This is the single most important thing. Set up autopay if you have to. Even one missed payment can hurt your score for years. Treat due dates like they're non-negotiable. Rule 2. Keep your usage low. Try not to live at the limit of your credit cards. Keep your balance under 30% of your limit. If your limit is $1,000, try to keep your balance under $300. If you can keep it under 10%, even better. This shows the system you're not desperate. Rule 3. Don't chase credit. Applying for a bunch of credit cards in a short time looks risky. Be intentional. Apply only when you actually need it. Rule 4. Build slowly and consistently. Trust grows with time. There's no shortcut. Keep 1 or 2 credit accounts open for years. Pay them on time. That's it. The bricks in your trust backpack stack up slowly, but they stack. Rule 5. Don't worship the number. Your credit score is a tool. It's not a measure of your worth as a person. It's not a video game where you're trying to hit max level. Use it to access better financial opportunities, but don't let it control your self-image. Because the goal here is not to win at credit scores. The goal is to use the score to build a stable, less stressful financial life. Modern parallel. Your scoreboard life. And now the deeper point. We live inside scoreboards. Your bank account balance? That's a scoreboard. Your credit score? That's a trust scoreboard. Your social media followers? Another scoreboard. Your job title, your grades, your fitness tracker steps, scoreboards everywhere. And here's the danger. If you don't understand the scoreboard, you think it's magic. You think it's judging your soul. You think the system is rigged in ways you'll never understand. But when you do understand the scoreboard, you realize it's just rules and incentives. It's just patterns and math. And once you see the rules clearly, You stop being scared. You stop feeling powerless. You start moving through the system calmly. That's why Centsive exists, not to make you obsessed with money, but to make money make sense. So you can move with clarity, plan with confidence, and build your life step by step without confusion. So the real question isn't, is the credit score system fair? The question is, do you understand the trust system you're living inside? Because once you understand it, you stop being confused. You stop being easily manipulated. You stop paying the ignorance tax, and you start playing the game with your eyes open. If this gave you a new way of seeing things, hit subscribe. Drop a comment with one thing that clicked for you. This is Centsive, and I'll always show you where to look.